Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ونبي موسى رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا مرض العبد أو سافر كتب له بمثل ما كان يعمل مقيما صحيحا. Nabi Musa radiallahu anhu said, Nabi Akram says, when a person becomes sick or he goes on safar, then it will be written for him to the extent, to the amount, or to the equivalent of that which he used to do while he was a muqim and while he was healthy. So it shows all the amal that you are unable to do while you're sick, you get the full reward of it while you are, you get the full reward for it, for those amal that you used to do while you were healthy. عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الطاعون شهادة كل مسلم متفق عليه. Nabi Anas radiallahu anhu says, Nabi Akram says, a plague is a shahadat of every Muslim. What does this mean? That in that area where the plague spreads, right? Then if a person stays there, right? What's sabr, and he makes sabr, and he doesn't run away. Rather, he places trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then if he is caught in that plague and he passes away as a shaheed. Right. When Nabi Hurairah radiallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu ash-shuhada'u khamsatun al-mat'unu wal-mabtunu wal-ghariqu wa sahibul hadmi wash-shahidu fi sabilillah muttafaqun alayh. Nabi Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, Nabi Akram says, the shuhada are 5. The one who's caught in a plague, the one who's for the stomach, dies from a stomach illness, and the one who drowns, and the one who the wall fall on him. In other words, he's crushed by a building, like the bombing nowadays. And then the shaheed fi sabilillah, right? So if you look at the first 4, that is shaheed ukhrawi. And the shaheed fi sabilillah is shaheed dunyawi. Shaheed dunyawi, what's different between shaheed dunya and shaheed ukhrawi? Shaheed dunya, you don't give him ghusl, right? You bury him, what his clothes, right? And shaheed ukhrawi, you give him normal ghusl, but he gets the reward of a shaheed. But obviously, so he's a person who was crushed by a wall or anything. All those are dunyawi. That's why shaheed, all those are ukhrawi. All the 4 are ukhrawi. The one, shaheed fi sabilillah, that's the one who really fought and he was martyred. He's shaheed dunyawi and ukhrawi. So the difference between shaheed dunyawi, then you don't give them ghusl in it, and you bury them with their blood. You understand it? But the others will give them ghusl, but they'll get the reward of a shaheed. Without doubt, the one who passed away fighting in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's still the greatest. You can't beat him, right? Right. So you see now they've got lots of shaheeds now. That's now the 4 that I mentioned, right? So these are called hukmi shaheeds, right? Hukmi shuhada, right? They say also those who pass away in safar, right? Those who went in jihad, but then he fell from the horse and he died. Those who's guarding the borders and he dies. You understand? That person who fell in a hole, right? That person whom the animal, the liars, the tigers, and they killed him, right? Right. As Ali radiallahu anhu says, that person whom the king of the time oppressed unrightfully, puts him into the jail, and he passes away, he's also a shaheed. As Anas radiallahu anhu says, dying from fever is also a shaheed. As Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah radiallahu anhu narrates that I asked Nabi Akram from the shuhada, which are the best shuhada? He says that person who stands up against a zalim king, right? And he enjoins him with good, and he stops him from wrong. Then the king kills him, right? Because of that, he's the highest shuhada. As Abu Musa radiallahu from him, that person who the horse or the camel tramples and he dies, or that person whom a poisonous animal stings him and he passes away, he's also shaheed. All right. There's also another, Nabi Akram also says, that person who's sitting in a ship and then he got a headache and he gets started vomiting and then he dies, right? Then he's also got a reward of a shaheed. That's what obviously mean you're not now going on these luxury cruises, ship of sun. You understand it? You are where sun is taking place. You understand it? So this will now mean where you generally needed to go on a ship for safar, right? Then Ibn Mas'ud right? That it is necessary for a woman to have ghayrat and modesty, and it's necessary for males to go out in jihad. So if that woman who with that modesty and sabr, she stays at home and she dies, she's going to be also get the reward of a shaheed. All right. Then you get also the Aisha radiallahu anha. So yes, I'm still going to give this all as people can just listen to it. You don't have to maybe note it, but there's lots of information here. That person, right, who daily reads a dua, right, 25 times. Allahumma barik li fil maut wa fima ba'dal maut. Or you can say Allahumma barik lana fil maut wa fima ba'dal maut, right? And he dies on the bed, and he'll also get the reward of a shaheed because he read this daily, right? As Ibn Umar narrates, that person who reads his Ishraq or Chas Namaz, right? And he observes 3 days of fasting every month. And he doesn't leave out his witr, whether he's on safar or at home, then he also gets the reward of a shaheed. Then there's another riwayat which says that that person, right? That the murtas is also, these are all shahidi ukhroi. That person, he fought in the battle. He fought in jihad. He was injured. But after being injured, he enjoyed some benefits of life. He took some medicine, he ate some food. You understand it? So he didn't die on the battlefield. He died a little bit after the battle or a little bit away from the battle. You understand it? Then that person is also this ukhrawi shaheed now. He's not a dunyawi shaheed. Right. Then you have that person who brings the grains to the people, the food to the people, right? And also that person who works to provide for his family and his servants, then he's also a shaheed. It comes in the hadith, that person who in his sickness he reads this to Allah of Hazrat Yunus alayhi salam, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minadh dhalimin. Right. So he reads La ilaha illa anta subhanaka 40 times. And then he passes away in that sickness, then he's also going to get the reward of shaheed. And if he's cured from that sickness, then he's forgiven. His sins are forgiven. Likewise mentioned that the truthful trader, the honest trader, he's also going to be brought up with the shaheed. And that person who dies on the Jummah, he's also a shaheed. And it's also mentioned that that person who gives azan without taking any fee, right? He's a muazzin, but he doesn't take a fee. He's like that shaheed who passed away on a battlefield and his blood is pouring out. And also that same muazzin now, when he is buried, there won't be worms that will eat his body. Nabi Karim said that person who sends one durood on me, Allah Ta'ala sends 10 blessings upon him, right? Rahmat. And he sends 10 duroods upon me, Allah sends 100 blessings upon him. And that person who sends 100 durood on me, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala writes between his eyes there, Bara'atum minan nifaq, right? He's clear from nifaq. And he's saved from the Jahannam. And he will be resurrected with the shuhada. And it's also mentioned that that person, in the morning, he reads, A'udhu billahi samil alim minash shaitanir rajim. And then he reads that 3 ayahs, last 3 ayahs of Surah Hashr, Wallahu alladhi la ilaha illa huwa alimul ghaib, right? Then 70,000 angels are appointed, and they make dua from morning to evening for him. And then if he dies in the evening, if he dies in that day, then he's regarded as shaheed. And then likewise, if he reads it in the evening, then he also gets the same reward. It's also mentioned that Nabi Karim Sami gave one person advice that when you go in sleep, then read the last few that Surah Hashr, that last few ayats. And then you sleep. Then if you die in a sleep, you are regarded as a shaheed. So there's lots of rewards here for becoming a shaheed. There's still another one too. I just want to do it. And likewise, that person who dies from epilepsy is also a shaheed. That person who dies between Hajj and Umrah, he is also a shaheed. That person who dies with wuzu is a shaheed. Likewise, that person who dies in Ramadan, that person who dies in Baitul Muqaddas, Makkah, Medina, they also shaheeds. All right. That person is involved in some calamity and he makes sabr, then he passes away as a shaheed. That person who reaches the age of 90, right? Also is a shaheed, right? And also that person who his parents are happy with him, or her wife passed away and the husband is happy with her, then she's a shaheed. Likewise, a just king, a qazi who's been did with justice, then they pass also, they were also a shaheed, right? So all these are great rewards here for being a shaheed. When Aisha radiallahu anha called, Saltu Rasulullah an ta'uni, فأخبرني أنه عذاب يبعثه الله على من يشاء وإن الله جعله رحمة للمؤمنين ليس من أحد يقع طاعون فيمكث في بلده صابرا محتسبا يعلم أنه لا يصيبه إلا ما كتب الله له إلا كان له مثل أجر شهيد. رواه Bukhari. It was Aisha said, I asked Nabi Karim about the plague. So he informed me that it is azab Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends upon whomsoever he wishes, and indeed Allah ta'ala has made it a rahmat for the believers. There's nobody whom the ta'un falls on him, then he stays in his city, having sabr and anticipating reward, and he knows that nothing will afflict him except what Allah ta'ala has ordained for him, except that there will be the likeness of the reward of a shaheed for him. Right? وعن أسامة بن زيد رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الطاعون رجس أرسل على طائفة من بني إسرائيل وعلى من كان قبلكم فإذا سمعتم به بأرض فلا تقدموا عليه وإذا وقع بأرض وأنكم بها وأنتم بها فلا تخرجوا فرارا منه متفق عليه. Musab bin Zayd said, the Nabi Akram said that a plague is a punishment which has been sent upon a group from the Bani Israel, or upon those before them, or upon those before you. So when you hear of it in a land, then do not go into that land. And when it occurs in a land and you are in that land, then do not come out running away from it. So Bani Israel, a Jamaat of Bani Israel, it's possible you could refer to that Jamaat where it told them, Udkhulul Baba Sujjadan. You understand? Go into the doors making sajda. But they disobeyed it, right? فَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ رِجْزًا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. So we send upon them azab from the skies, right? Right. So Ibn Malik Rahmanullah said that azab from the skies was a plague, right? Uh, so the result of that was that 24,000 elderly ones died immediately from that plague, right? 24 elderly ones died immediately. And why are you stopped from going out? Why are you stopped from entering there, right? So that you don't put yourself into the destruction intentionally. You understand it? وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ. Right. And then also that where it is there, then you must stay there. And you don't run away from there, because when you're running away from there now, you're running away from your taqdeer. And if it's in your taqdeer to die, even if you run away, you're still gonna die. You understand it? So therefore, you must stay there. Right. When Anas radiallahu قال سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول قال الله سبحانه وتعالى إذا ابتليت عبدي بحبيبتيه ثم صبر أوضته منها الجنة يريد عينيه رواه Bukhari. Imam Anas Nabi saying, Allah Ta'ala says that when my servant is tested with these two beloved things, then in others his eyes, then he makes sabr, then I will compensate him on behalf of them. Jannat, it means his eyes, right? So either he's going to get Jannat or he's going to get a special rank in Jannat, right? There's mentioned about one pious person that when at the end of his life he became blind. So he says that khalwat and that seclusion I'm getting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now, I never got in my entire life. Now I can't see now. So he said that concentration and that khalwat that I'm getting with Allah ta'ala now, I couldn't get in my entire life. Eventually.